iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, to the Oxford Plains Speedway here tonight for the Best Colorful Creations 125 for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series presented by the Upstate Racing League. All the roads that we have taken so far this season, they led us right here through Kern County to Nashville to Stafford, now to the smallest track on the Speedway. 125 laps tonight here at the Oxford Plains Speedway is going to be action-packed, race fans, and to bring you all that racing action is, well, myself, Roger Muth, and alongside me here tonight is going to be Kelly Dahl. Kelly, this track, the smallest track, and pretty much a one-lane track down around the bottom and a big curb to watch out for.
Yeah, this track hardly has any straightaways to really even call for. Like, it's just pretty much a one big circle. You just kind of turn a little bit less throughout the quote-unquote straights, and for most of this track, there's no outside wall to catch you if you were to go wide or if you were to get spun off. And to the inside, you've got that big curb like you were talking about. And if you go past that, you've got these huge dirt mounds all around the light post. So this is a very treacherous racetrack. And like you said, very one lane for the most part. But now with the new dynamic track surfaces, a lot of these drivers were talking about the possibility of a second lane maybe opening up.
Well, what do you say we line them up and see what these drivers can do here tonight from the Oxford Plains Speedway? Let's take you trackside tonight here for your Best Colorful Creations Pro Series starting lineup. Starting on the pole, he's got a couple wins here at the Oxford Plains Speedway. That'll be car number 6 here, starting P1 of Joe Schaefer Jr. It is outside, it'll be the 31 of Logan Powers. Then how about the driver who's picked up a handful of poles already this season? Car number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse. Back into the fourth spot, driving car number 2, my dyslexia here tonight. Car number 2, starting 4th, will be Brian Hacker. Mike Alexander in the number 75 will roll from 5th here tonight, while Chris Stump in the 95 will roll from 6th. Guillaume Vorton is going to be back there. Car 13 will start into the 7th spot. Stephen Rochefort, car number 66, will start 8th. 9th to be the Doctor of Bill Martin, car number 39. And starting 10th here tonight to be the 46 of Philip Martin.
Rolling off in 11th, making his first start of the season, is the 33 of Hugo Paquette, and he got Ty Delphia to his outside. Rodney Huntoon in that 47 machine will be rolling off in 13th, and Scott Austin in 14th. 91 of Adam Gable will be starting back in 15th, and to his outside, the 88 of Matt McLean. Gavin Eisel will be starting in 17th spot, and to his outside, the big boss man, the 96 of Al Smith Jr. Jason Dobbs will be rolling off all the way back in 19th after putting down the fast time in practice, and Jimmy McIntyre Jr. rolling off in 20th.
21st here tonight, driving the number 88. That'll be Matthew Eddie, and then 22nd on the call here tonight. Car number 15 out of New York. That'll be Tyler Bushy with the driver from north of the border here. Car number 53, that'll be Wade Purchase. Adam Turner here tonight. A rookie will start back in car number 92 all the way to the 24th position and shotgun to the field. The W6 out of New York, that'll be Michael Peak starting shotgun. 25 cars, 125 laps here around the Oxford Plains Speedway. Next time by, we're going to drop the hammer here tonight.
Yeah, Joe Schaefer Jr. back-to-back winners here at the Oxford Plains Speedway, going for 3 in a row as he starts here on pole. We'll have to see if that number 6 Epic Media Machine will be able to lead everything from flag to flag.
The driver that has led flag to flag, he's the points championship leader in the last 2 rounds. That is going to be Brian Hacker and Guillaume Fortin. As this time by, we're ready to go at the flag stand here tonight. 125 laps here tonight for the best golf for creations. 125 here at the Oxford Plains Speedway. We'll race him to turn number 1 as Joe Schaefer Jr. as the top spot here tonight.
You can see Logan Powers going a little bit wide coming off the corner. That's going to allow him to kind of take this next corner with a really nice wide angle. However, it's not going to quite be enough. Joe Schaefer Jr. just going to get his nose across in the start-finish line. He will lead lap number 1. Matthew Barkos has got a lane all to himself, but right behind him, you see the 75 of Alexander and Brian Hacker going side by side still.
So lap 1 goes to the number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr., and now Logan Powers is going to fade there. Well, I thought for a moment he had a chance to get down to the bottom side, and now he does. That time down in turns 1 and 2, and he'll have a great run to the inside here. Will Powers take advantage? He will not. He'll fall back and find himself in line. Matthew Barkhouse still out of line in car number 15 with Alexander still battling down to the inside of him. Behind him, they're lined up 2 by 2 also with Hacker, Guillaume, Stump, and Roachford.
Yeah, Mike Alexander was able to get himself to the inside of that 15 of Barkhouse. Barkhouse now still trying to work that outside lane, and it is a very hot racetrack we got here tonight. And I think it was also, last we saw, it was over 120 degrees on the track surface, so this is very slippery, and these drivers are trying everything to keep these cars under control and to keep these tires managed.
The field's playing nice right now. A little bit of a slide there by the 13 of Guillaume Fortin down there to the inside of the number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse. Last time by, Logan Powers set the quickest lap of the evening here with a 1:05.70 second lap. That was Logan Powers, who is running second currently here on the Speedway. 6 laps here have been completed. Joe Schaefer Jr. leading the way here tonight in the 125-lap feature. That outside lane for Matthew Barkhouse has not been able to help himself. Neither has it for Brian Hacker. Barkhouse has lost 3 now, while Hacker has lost 4 positions here in the early standings, and it's all because they are stuck to the outside groove.
Yeah, when we dropped the green flag, Brian Hacker started all the way up in 4th, Guillaume Fortin down in 7th. Those two practically have swapped positions as Fortin now running in the 4th place, and Hacker looking to be dropping another spot here as Hugo Paquette gets to his inside. So big struggles here for one of the tied points leaders, and really the opposite for the 13, who is the co-leader at this moment.
A lot of laps obviously left here tonight at Oxford, but they're going to go quick as we continue to make circles around this speedway. It's the circle track. Now Brian Hacker, after losing 5 positions here in car number 2, he will find his way down to the bottom side of the speedway, but not the same for car number 1-5 there of Matthew Barkhouse. He is still to the outside lane. That's Bill Martin now, who is taking a chance to throw his car down to the bottom side of the speedway. As you see, he's right behind the number 66 of Stephen Roachford. Roachford had picked up the opening win of the season, as Martin that time out of turn number 4 got a little bit loose in car number 39, but he was able to gather it up. He's still down to the inside there of the 15 of Barkhouse.
And this just goes to show how much you can lose just from a single car getting underneath you. Matthew Barkhouse was on the inside line earlier, but he allowed, I think, Mike Alexander it was, to get underneath him, and that just shoved him to that outside lane, and he has not been able to get back since. He's now dropped all the way back into 7th place, and is still going to keep losing, as there is still no gap for him to get down to that bottom side, and the bottom side has just not quite heated up enough just yet to maybe allow that second lane to kind of come in.
Yeah, there is only 3 cars to the outside groove right now. Everybody else has found their way somehow, some way down to the bottom side of the speedway. It's Barkhouse in the number 15. He's running 7th. Then it's Rodney Hontoon in the 47. He's running back into the 14th spot. And then the only other driver that's stuck to the outside and still losing positions, it's the number 5 of Scott Austin. He's back into the 20th spot. He's lost 6 so far here tonight. So a lot of red next to those drivers' names here in the early portions. Only 15 laps in the books here tonight as they're still single file down around the bottom except for those 3 drivers.
Yeah, the 15 still trying to find a gap now. Bill Martin kind of opening up that corner there, possibly just to kind of save those tires. You want to get a wide entry, but at the same time, that does allow the possibility of a driver getting underneath you. Now Martin kind of getting forced to take that outside lane, and he's kind of maybe trying to make a move on Steven Rochert. He's got a bit more pace. Does seem to be lapping faster, but there is nowhere for him to go. But he's got to be careful. He's leaving that bottom side open, and Hugo Paquette may try to fill that hole.
Yeah, every time that they go down to the corner of those 2 cars just behind Bill Martin, which is Matthew Barkhouse and Hugo Paquette, are inching closer and closer to the back end of that number 39. So Martin going to have to play a little bit of defense here in just a couple of moments. Has a little bit of a slide for that 33 there for Hugo. That will give a little bit of a breathing room back to Bill Martin here as we come to complete lap number 19 here tonight. All laps have been led by the driver of the number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. There you still continue to see the battle. Hugo down to the inside. To the outside, that is Matthew Barkel. So those 2 drivers sitting right there. Just behind them, that is Brian Hacker and Chris Stump, who round out the top 10 here as we complete lap 20 here of the 125 scheduled. Everybody chasing that epic media number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr.
Yeah, Joe Schaefer Jr. having 3/4 of a second of a lead here over Logan Powers. He is just walking away with this race at this moment, but still a lot of laps to go, over 100 still up on the board, and anything can happen here. We can have a couple cars get into each other. We nearly do is the 33 and the 15 kind of lean on each other going through turn 4.
Could be a little bit of frustration there for the driver of the 15 as well. He has been able to pick up the positions he thought that car would pick up here early on. Maybe Hugo getting a little bit, tired of holding the bottom side of the speedway as tight as he has been. This track can bring out the best or bring out the worst in some of these drivers. It's the old classic short track, the bull ring, if you will, the shortest track on the schedule, and you will be either side by side with somebody all night long or having somebody glued to one of your bumpers.
Yeah, it is extremely hard to pass here, as there's no straightaways to really speak of. You have to set up your passes to just kind of duck underneath the other driver, kind of force them up into that other line. And now it's starting to seem like that inside line might be stalling out just a little bit. Barkhouse still side by side with Paquette. They've been side by side for about 10 laps at this point. Neither one can get a single inch of ground on the other. They're completely even up around the entire length of this circuit.
And with them still being side by side and battling, maybe a little bit of an advantage that time out of 4 there to the number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, is how the 66 of Stephen Rochford and the number 39 of Bill Martin have not been able to pull away, as there's a battle now for the second spot. Here comes Mike Alexander, and look, he is going to the outside here, the number 31 of Logan Powers, as that battle back there for Hugo and Barkhouse still continue to work themselves side by side. Look at Mike Alexander use the outside here. Maybe it's cleaned up enough now, Kelly, and enough heat down on the bottom side that pass is being able to made on the outside groove.
Yeah, I believe this is what Brian Hacker was talking about last week when we interviewed him after the race. He said that as this track rolls on, or as this race rolls on, that bottom lane is going to get heated up, as we got a car that looks like they may have spun. They're just going to dive down into the pit road. That looks to be the number 51 of Tyler Bushy.
Yeah, Bushy coming to pit road in the Maple City Auto Machine. So it looks like it might be an early night there for the driver out of New York. Joe Schaefer Jr., Mike Alexander, Logan Powers is how they're running. Now a battle here for what is the 5th position. Bill Martin now going to jump to the outside of car number 39. He'll see if he can do exactly what Mike Alexander did, as that's the battle for 5th. Your race leader, though, of Joe Schaefer Jr. will start to look to get himself into lap traffic here momentarily, as you do see that Bill Martin in the number 39 is going to go around the outside. He got to the scoring stripe first. Good dive down into corner number 1 there for the 66 of Stephen Rochford, but sideways up off turn 2. That's going to give it to Bill Martin. Martin's going to look to slam the door this time out of 4.
Yeah, that 66 almost completely drifted the entirety of turn number 2. Looks like the 95 of Chris Stump got loose behind them. He spins all the way down into the pit road. He is on the apron, so there will be no caution, but that is going to end it for the 95. He has taken the tow.
So as now Chris Stump and Tyler Bushy have pulled it to the infield here tonight. Joe Schaefer Jr., you got company, and it's in the hands there of the number 75 of Mike Alexander. Joe Schaefer Jr. may be the defending champion here at the Oxford Plains Speedway, but Mike Alexander is a champion with the series. He knows how to run to the front, save his equipment, and be there at the end of this. Logan Powers, though, is starting to fade. The rookie at a car number 31 here, now under attack here by Guillaume Fortin, as Fortin was looking down to the inside of turn number 3. See what he does out of turn number 4. Maybe a little slip of the grip that time for the number 13 as, Power's going to open it up. Here comes now Guillaume Fortin to the inside.
Yeah, I think that 31 car may have just cooked his tires a little bit early on in this race. He is struggling for grip out there as he is losing ground. He tried to kind of take that wider entry into turn number 1, and that allowed the 13 of Guillaume Fortin to just dive in there, get his nose up to the door, and able to get in that track position. Now he's nearly clear, and he will clear him through turn 3, so move Guillaume Fortin up into third place. Just behind them, though, Bill Martin under attack from Matthew Barkos. Barkos actually clearing him down the front straightaway that time. Barkos now, after all running so much on the outside line in the beginning of this race, losing all that ground, is now using that outside line to his advantage and is actually gaining ground with it.
Yeah, that'll be 2 spots back there for the number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse. Only down 2 now from where he had started here tonight. Your top 10 drivers here after 38 laps around the Oxford Plains Speedway. Joe Schaefer Jr. continuing to lead here by the slimmest of margins over Mike Alexander. Guillaume Fortin is sitting in third. Then it's Logan Powers, Matthew Barkhouse in the top 5 with Bill Martin and now Stephen Rochefort getting under attack because here comes Brian Hacker, Hugo Paquette, and Adam Gable. Now inside the top 10 is how they are running here with 38 laps completed at Oxford.
And just in front of them, Matthew Barkos going to the outside once again as he gets to the outside of Logan Powers. Powers just losing ground both on the inside and the outside. Neither lane working for that 31, so he has definitely got some problems with his tires. But unless we get a caution here, he's not going to have an opportunity to change it. He gets the curb there in turn 4. Big wiggle on that car, and that's going to lose him another spot as Bill Martin gets around him to take 5th place away.
Yeah, I did notice about 20 laps ago that the number 31 of Logan Powers really abusing the rear tires of that car. He was sideways up off the corners, and now as we approach not quite the halfway, we're about 20 laps away from halfway here tonight at Oxford, that 31, the pace has definitely dropped off about 0.4 of a second now here for Logan Powers from his quickest time of the evening. Actually, it's even more than that last time by mistaken here. His best time was a 15.7. Now he's running 16.6s, so almost a 1 second deficit here from his fast time to what he's running right now.
Now Hugo Paquette getting underneath him, and he's going to get himself up there. There goes the 31 sliding way up the racetrack, up into the marbles. That is too high up there. That is past that second groove, and there's going to be no grip up there for him to work with. So that's going to cost him time, as now that's also going to open the opportunity for the 66 of Stephen Rochefort to get through.
Yeah, the tires on Logan Powers' machine looks like it's a cucumber in a female's prison that's been beaten up right now as he continues to lose the position. 6 spots down here for Logan Powers here on lap number 45 as more battling, though, just outside the top 10. There's Gavin Isley, Rodney Hontoon, and sideways, Adam Gable going to get tacked right in the back bumper, and Al Smith nowhere to go into the front right number 91.
47 immediately coming over the radio to claim that one. He got into the back end of the 91, it seemed, through turns 3 and 4. And that just sent that 91 spinning around. He got tagged by another car, and just unfortunate situation for Al Smith as he thought he was going to be safe running the high lane until that 91 got kicked up right in front of him.
Yeah, there you see the contact, the 47 into the back of Gable, and Gable got, tossed around like one of those cucumbers I just talked about, and he winds up going a little bit airborne, but back onto the wheels. Everybody should be able to carry on here, but it looks like some drivers will take this opportunity. As we come back live, they will come to pit road to put some tires on.
Looks like nearly everyone coming down to pit road. Joe Schaefer Jr. leading the way. However, a number of cars did stay out. Bill Martin being the leader of them. We also have Hugo Paquette, Stephen Rochefort, Gavin Isley, and Rodney Hontoon all leading these cars that have decided to stay out and keep these same tires on and see if they can maybe take a pit stop later on in this race.
You saw the drag race. One driver still sitting down on pit road. 2 drivers, and they're going to go a lap down, it looks like. Logan Powers trying to put 4 tires on. Philip Martin also putting tires on. Those drivers here will go a lap down. Maybe Logan Powers just getting out ahead of the pace car. We'll see where they will line him up here. But Hugo going to take over the race lead. Kelly, I did see, though, that 33 QC starting to get a little slippy and slidey. Remember, he battled there for a while with the number 15 of Barkhouse.
Yeah, and he was forced to run on the inside for a long time, so he wasn't really able to track out very much, and he had to take very shallow entries into the corner. So I'd say that right front has taken a lot of damage over this the course of these first 50 or so laps. But we'll have to see. Maybe under this caution, he's allowed them to kind of cool down a little bit. He might get a little bit of grit back, and there's also a number of drivers behind him or between him and the leader of the pack that has been the first to take tires, which is Joe Schaefer Jr. back in 11th.
Yeah, I was going to say the top 10 looking like they've all stayed out here. 2 drivers have retired, Chris Stump and Tyler Bushy. They are out of tonight's event. Another driver looks like he has called it an evening, the number 46 of Philip Martin. So call it 3 cars now here tonight. Going to be interesting to see here as we get ready to double them back up, as we are ready to go back racing. Will the drivers that did not come in to take tires, will they be able to hang on here for, well, over 60 laps of racing still left here from the Oxford Plains Speedway? As the lights are come back on, we're not quite ready. The field didn't quite get bunched up that time out of turn 2 for us to go back green flag racing.
Yeah, just under 75. No, but actually, we're getting a little bit of talking over the radio from Logan Powers. Looks like there may have been a bit of a scoring error for him. He thought he wasn't going a lap down, but it seems like he may have. He's still tagging down to the back end of the field. Looks like they may clear him, though. So Al Smith did come over, I think, and said that he will get his black flag clear, so that 31 will stay on the lead lap.
So that will put 22 cars on the lead lap here as the green flag is back out here tonight at Oxford. Hugo with a good restart here. Gavin Isley, one of those drivers out of the dirt ranks, trying to come here for P number 2 to the inside of the number 66 of Stephen Rochefort. Hugo Paquette going to lead the first lap back to green.
And there are 3 wide back in the field as the drivers that have taken tires are just trying to split those that had stayed out. And there we go. The number 6, Joe Schaefer Jr. to the inside is the 75 of Mike Alexander, trying to just roll that outside line and just go around all of the drivers that have decided to stay out and on those beat up tires. Oh, a bit of a tag back in the field. Brian Hacker gets tagged, and there goes Matt Eddy. He spins around, and the caution flag is going to come out. We still have another car as well. Adam Turner went straight off into the grass coming down the front straightaway.
So the Buick of Matthew Eddy bringing out a caution flag. You see the right front beat up a little bit on the number 88. We'll have to watch this back here. A lot happening here in the opening laps of going back green flag racing. Let's take a look back here, see if we can see it. There's Brian Hacker getting a bump also, and Dobbs in car number 98 into the back of Matthew Eddy. A lot going on out of turn 4 to bring out that caution flag. We'll have to watch it back, and let's see. Let's slow it down here. There you see Bill Martin into the back of the number 2 of Brian Hacker. Just out ahead of them, that is going to be the 53. That got also sideways, but in the meantime, from Hacker and Martin getting into it, then the 88 of Matthew Eddy checking up. Jason Dobbs just not quite able to check up. There's Turner going down into the corner. You're going to see him make a exit stage right, and I don't think he's going to make any contact. He did slow up the number 92, but unfortunately lost all that track position as he went dead right down into turn 1.
And the 96 of Al Smith also getting involved in that, just getting door banged a little bit, and he ended up sliding up into the 92, which I think kind of saved him from either spinning or getting into the wall. So I don't think there's going to be too much damage to that 96 machine, but this caution gives an opportunity for a couple more drivers to come down pit road. We saw the ones that did take tires be just a complete league of their own compared to the ones that stayed out. We saw Mike Alexander went to the outside, made it 3 wide along with Joe Schaefer Jr. as they just kind of split this field.
Yeah, 3 wide almost turned into 4 wide, which turned into one of those drivers getting a little bit sideways. They were able to gather it up and keep going. I believe that was the W6 there of Michael Peak. Michael Peak, who had to start shotgun to the field here tonight in that W6 entry. He's one of those drivers that stayed out. And the car, I'm not going to say it didn't fire off, but those fresh tires, you could just tell those bad boys could eat.
Yeah, those fresh tires just the way to go at this point. But I think those drivers that stayed out are just trying to hope for maybe a late caution to kind of take the fresh tires towards the end of the race. I don't think they're going to try to make this last the whole way. We saw a couple drivers try to do that last week, and they ended up blowing their tires. But we'll have to see now as the field reforms once again. Hugo Paquette still leading the field, but they're going to extend the caution just a little bit longer to make sure everyone can form up here.
Yeah, Oxford, just one of those small tracks where you just don't quite have a lot of time to get lined up and placed where you need to when you're told 1 lap till green. So we're giving them just one more lap here tonight. We will be close 2 laps till we are at the halfway point here tonight of the Best Colorful Creations 125 for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series tonight for the Upstate Racing League. Race number 4 of the season. Who are the other 3 drivers who have picked up wins? Well, Brian Hacker's picked up 2, and Stephen Rochfort was able to pick up the season opener. So Hacker's been on a hot streak as of late, with Guillaume Fortin finishing up on the podium all season long.
Yeah, Guillaume Fortin has finished in second place every single race. As we go back, green flag race, and Gavin Isley spun the tires and got into the door of Hugo Paquette. But that's going to cost him some ground, and he's going to hold up these drivers that have got the fresh tires. Now take a look at Mike Alexander. He's peeking to the inside of Ty Delphia, trying to see if he can find a way to get around that 013.
Yeah, we're back to that 3 wide racing, though. Joe Schaefer Jr. lurking to the outside, and look at him. He's going to go 3 wide down to the inside. That'll be the number 13 there. That's Guillaume Fortin down to the inside. Stephen Rochford in the middle, and he's getting pinballed around.
Rochford able to hang on to it, though, able to keep that 66 car pointed in the right direction, but he does not have the tires underneath him. Now look at the 75. He's trying to go up the middle as he gets to the outside of the 013 and to the inside of the 018. 4 wide, though, behind them as Rochford is getting completely swallowed up by this field.
I did not know Mike Alexander knew how to come up the gut like a running back right there. Look at Matthew Barkhouse. He's going to try to do the same thing. To the outside, that's the number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. Down to the inside, the 13 of Ty Delphia. Cars around. That's the 66 of Stephen Rochfort there sitting idle. There's Matthew Eddy coming back out onto the raceway. Caution not coming out, though, just yet. The official's going to try and let this one play out.
No, caution did not come out as all the drivers that spun ended up off the racing surface, but the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, he's up the middle now as he tries to get to the outside of the 018 of Gavin Isley, and he's got to the inside there of the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. It is just a complete mess out in this field as we have such a complete mix-up of pace between the drivers that took tires and drivers that didn't. And there's that 018 once again getting loose off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Isley's going to lose 2 there and possibly another one here as here comes the number 13 of Guillaume Fortin. Then it's Bill Martin. They all got the fresher tires, and they are starting to freight train the 18 there for Gavin Isley. How long will he be able to hold on? He's got the best opportunity to do that by being down on the bottom side of the speedway, making those cars go around the outside as Hugo still continuing to lead the way. Mike Alexander, though, inching closer, 0.2 of a second faster last time by. This time by at the line. 0.4 of a second faster.
Yeah, he is just so much faster on those fresh tires. There is going to be nothing that 33 car can do to defend against the 75, as now he gets ever so closer. Now he's getting just to the outside of that right quarter panel. He's going to get his nose there. He's going to challenge for the race lead. Mike Alexander using those fresher tires to his advantage through the outside of the turn. He gets even up with the 33 now through turns 3 and 4, just carrying so much more speed. Now, across the stripe, he is going to take over the race lead.
New race leader here on lap number 72. It's car 75 of Mike Alexander. How far will Hugo be able to, well, how far will we fall? Because those new tires are there. Now with Alexander by him, here comes Barkhouse. That's going to be Schaefer, Fortin, Martin, Hacker, all on those new tires. Gavin Isley still been able to hold into the top 10 so far here. There is the number 18 of Gavin Isley. He's sitting 8th currently with Logan Powers just behind him. Remember, Logan Powers, though, has 4 fresh tires compared to the field, who only has 2.
Yeah, I don't know how much more those 2 inside tires are going to help him, but he had to come from all the way at the tail end of this field to get up to where he is now, so it has at least helped him that much so far, but we'll have to see if he can catch up to the rest of these drivers who have now charged off ahead of the ones that stayed out.
Hugo still down on the bottom, car number 33. There you see the 33 QC, the blue machine. That's Hugo Paquette. He's down to the inside. Joe Schaefer Jr. in car number 6. He was the pole setter here tonight to start tonight's feature event. He's running back into right now what is the 4th position, trying to pick off 3rd here. We're going to come by this time. It'll be 76 laps out of the 125 scheduled tonight into the books. And Brian Hacker is right there with Bill Martin as they are side by side just behind that 33 QC and the 13 QC of Guillaume Fortin.
Yeah, teammates side by side now as Guillaume Fortin gets to the outside of the 33 of Hugo Paquette. Paquette just nothing he can do on these older tires. He's trying to hold on. I'm sure he's just hoping for another caution now so that he can get the fresh tires and maybe do to these guys what they're doing to him at this moment. But now look at the 2 of Brian Hacker. Brian Hacker as he's trying to get to the inside of that 33 while Bill Martin is still searching that outside lane.
78 laps completed. Alexander still out front. Then it's going to be Barkhouse as the caution flag is going to fly as Gavin Isley has been turned around. I do believe, I'm not quite seeing where he is at. There is the number 18 of Gavin Isley. He's back into the 16th position now. He's one of those drivers that stayed out, and this is going to be a perfect opportunity for some of those drivers that did not come to pit road. Now will be their chance to put on those fresh tires and see if they can charge through the field. Probably perfect timing for them.
And now 4 drivers have taken it behind the wall as we've lost Philip Martin as well as Stephen Rochford. So there's still 21 cars out on the track, 20 on the lead lap as Adam Turner is 1 lap down, but he may get the wave around. But now we have cars heading down pit road. We'll have to see where these guys are going to wind up afterwards and if they're going to be able to make the charge back to the field. We're going to have to keep an eye on that 33 QC of Hugo Paquette.
Yeah, that was the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre getting into the back there of the number 18 of Gavin Isley. So that's what will actually bring out the 3rd caution flag of the evening here at the Oxford Plains Speedway here tonight in the Best Colorful Creations 125. Taking a peek, the first driver that will come out will restart 17th. That will be the number 33 QC there, Hugo Paquette. He will start 17th on the new tires.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see because I think they've been just about the same distance when the first caution came out, but we had a few more cautions in between there, so I don't think the tire wear is going to be quite the same, and he's only going to have just about 40 laps to kind of get through the field and try to challenge for the race lead once again, which is now held by Mike Alexander, and this is a good opportunity for a few of these drivers that had taken the tires earlier and were kind of mixed up a little as Matthew Barkhouse is going to be forced to start on the outside. Joe Schaefer Jr. going to have maybe an opportunity to get himself back into the race lead.
Well, we'll have to take a look. 2 teammates here at the front of the field with Mike Alexander and Matthew Barkhouse. Will they play nice? Maybe Barkhouse going to pull the inside and let the number 75 of Alexander get the jump and let him in down to the bottom side of the speedway as the lights on the iRacing.com pace car have gone out. So we'll see if we can go with 1 pace lap here and get these bad boys fired off. It's exactly what it looks like. Alexander lining up to the outside of Matthew Barkhouse.
Yeah, interesting that the outside line is now the kind of preferred line here as we saw the inside dominate throughout the first bit of this race. And now we're going to have to see what that 75 can do at the front of the field. Pace car down and away, and we are going to get back to green flag racing. There goes the 75, a bit of a delayed start. And that is actually going to allow this 15 of Barkhouse to be the first one to the start-finish line. Yeah,
Barkhouse going to be the first one into turn number 1 here in a little bit of a tight situation there for the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, who will be the first one to come back across the line here to complete lap number 85. And the first lap back to green flag racing, give it to the number 15, Matthew Barkhouse.
Yeah, those teammates kind of going side by side, holding up the rest of the field and leaving in no opportunity for the 6 Epic Media machine behind them. Joe Schaefer Jr. trying to find an opportunity to get himself back to the race lead. But now the 15 of Barkhouse starting to get his nose ahead, but the 75 of Alexander getting himself right up to that door.
Yeah, and a little bit of a slide that time it looked like for Mike Alexander, so Matthew Barkhouse will have the top spot. Here comes Joe Schaefer Jr. sideways for the number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse. Oh, now contact between the two. That'll open up the door. Here comes the 6 of Joe Schaefer.
75 of Alexander getting in the dirt a little bit, but able to regain control of the car. He's going to go way back in the field, though, now 3 wide throughout the back of this field. That's a little bit of a bump, cost him a ton of spots. Now he's going to have to see as he crosses the start-finish line. He's down all the way into 12th.
There's 12th in the battle for second now, because that is Joe Schaefer Jr., who now has the race lead. Here comes the 13 QC. Guillaume Fortin looking to the inside, and the doctor of Bill Martin just behind them drivers. Then it's going to be Brian Hacker. Everybody is lined up down around the bottom side of the speedway, so Barkhouse is going to have to find his way down if he can. And now Joe Schaefer Jr. opens up the door for Guillaume, and Guillaume going to slide it off for.
Guillaume Fortin has finished second place in all 3 of the races we have run so far this season. He wants a win, though. He told us last week he's enjoyed the second place finishes for the points for the standings in the championship, but he is hungry for a win. He does not like coming in second that many times in a row. So see if he's going to be able to challenge for the lead, as he's actually getting his nose to the inside of that 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr.
Maybe Joe Schaefer just kind of opening up his entry for a little bit here, trying to save some tires on the Epic Media number 6. Back across the line it is Schaefer, Fortin, Barkhouse, Martin, and Hacker is out the top 5 and looking right now, but here comes that 13 QC once again to the inside.
Schaefer looking to go for 3 wins in a row here at Oxford's Plains. He has won the last 2 races that we have run here at this track, but he is under pressure now from that 13 QC of Guillaume Fortin. Fortin just slowly creeping up alongside him each time. Now they're completely even up through turns 3 and 4. Going to see at the line here, it's just going to be the 6 by a nose, but that 13 now starting to get himself ahead.
As that's the battle for the race lead. Brian Hacker also working his way past Bill Martin. But now here is the 13 QC down to the inside. Will he have it at the stripe? Guillaume Fortin that time by your new race leader here on lap number 96.
A few years back, Guillaume Fortin nearly got his first win of his URL career here at this track, but got spun on a late race restart. Now we'll have to see if he's going to be able to right that wrong a couple years later, as he now gets himself completely into the race lead. Joe Schaefer now starting to get under pressure from that 2 of Brian Hacker.
One driver off the speedway coming back on. It'll be Adam Turner. He will rejoin right in front of the race leaders. Now it's going to be the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse to the outside. Here comes Brian Hacker. He sees his competitor of Guillaume, now the race leader, and he's got to pick up some positions here late in this one. It'll be lap number 98 going into the books here. 27 left here at the Oxford Plains Speedway. Fortin, Schaefer, Hacker, Barkhouse, and Martin is how they are. But Matthew Barkhouse still to the outside as Bill Martin now to the inside. Hacker into the curbing just a little bit with those left side tires.
And you see the 81 coming back onto the racetrack as he kind of got into a little bit of trouble there. Don't know exactly what happened to the 81 car, but he has now lost a lap and is just going to kind of stay out of the way of the field. But coming into tonight, Guillaume Fortin and Brian Hacker were tied for the points lead, 28 points ahead of Mike Alexander. Now Alexander all the way back in 14th after that bit of contact with his teammate. And that is going to allow the 13 and 2 to really open up the gap on the rest of this field for the championship.
25 laps to go. To be 24 laps when they come by the stripe this time. Guillaume Fortin, they're going to be looking at the number 92 there of Adam Turner. Turner looks like he's going to possibly be able to keep that number 92 to the bottom side, maybe here. Looks like he will give way to the race leaders, as they're actually rolling side by side into 3 this time. It'll be 23 laps to go. Guillaume Fortin working through traffic. Now it'll be the rest of the field, and they're stacked up right behind him. Trying to, a little contact there. Turner and the number 6 there of Joe Schaefer Jr. going to make a little contact. Seeing who's going to come out on the other side of this. Now Martin into the back of the number 2 of Brian Hacker as they all try to get around the lap car. One driver up there into the grass. I believe that might have been Mike Alexander.
Yeah, more trouble for the 75. On the last restart, he was the leader, and now he is a lap down as he has been taking a couple trips into the dirt on the outside of this racetrack. There is no wall to save you here for a majority of this track other than a slight little strip on the front straightaway, so any mistake can be very costly here as you can send these cars off-roading. And now that 75 really paying the price as we're seeing a lot of these drivers still trying to find their way around these lap cars, as that 92 car now finally getting cleared by the 39 of Bill Martin.
Yeah, it'll be just 20 laps to go this time by. It's Guillaume Fortin out front. Joe Schaefer Jr. in second, but he's got a number 2 full of Brian Hacker right behind him, and then it's Matthew Barkhouse, Bill Martin, and look at Matt McLean. He has worked his way up there into the 6th spot. Logan Powers still holding on to the top 10 right now. Al Smith, Jason Dobbs, Hugo Paquette. Remember, Hugo put those new tires on back on lap number 80. He's only been able to charge to the 10th position. One car around.
Hugo Paquette hard into the wall, and that's going to cost him as Dobbs is well getting hit, and now them as they try to get themselves back straightened out, they make a little bit of more contact, and I think that really stemmed from Matthew McLean. He got a little bit of a tag there from Logan Powers, and that just kind of snowballed.
So the 4th caution flag coming out with just 17 laps to go. Let's take a look back here. Maybe we can see what happened. Looked like Dobbs down to the curbing, yeah, and then right out in front of them, that was Powers into the back of the 88, and everybody piled in. So just a chain reaction down here in turn 3 and 4 late in this one.
Yeah, Hugo Paquette claiming that one as he was trying to make his way back through the field after pitting late there and taking the late tires and trying to see if those fresh tires would have worked for him, but unfortunately we are not going to see the result of that as Hugo Paquette is going to move to the back of the field and take some heavy damage, so that is going to kind of thin our field out a little bit more as we have Matt Eddy has taken has made his way down into the pit road and kind of behind the wall, and we've now only got 15 cars on the lead lap as Hugo Paquette now down on pit road, and Dobbs also had to lose a lap as he took some tire damage repair as well.
Just taking a look to see who's running where with just how many laps we have left remaining in this race here tonight at Oxford. Guillaume Fortin had a good race lead there. It was just over a half a second over Joe Schaefer, who was under attack by Brian Hacker. Matthew Barkhouse and Bill Martin were battling. Then it's kind of where all the chaos ensued back there with McLean, Smith, Powers, Austin, and Wade Purchase right now has worked himself into a top 10 spot. How about Michael Peake? He pitted back on lap number 80. That W6 had to start shotgun to the field. He's running 11th right now, up 14 positions here with, well, time to go grab a couple more.
And Guillaume Fortin now holding on to this race lead, but he is going to have his championship rival right behind them on his next restart. And both of these drivers know the point standings coming into this race here, but there's still a lot of racing left to go in this season. We're not quite at the halfway point, but these guys both know that every point may matter when it comes down to it at the end of the season.
Not quite halfway here, as next week will be the halfway race at South Boston Speedway. Another good one next week at Sobo, but we have to finish this one off here tonight. Oxford Plain as the green flag is back up, and a great start for the race leader. The 13 QC will lead us to turn 1. Joe Schaefer Jr. trying to choke here tonight, getting down to the bottom side.
Yeah, that 6 car knew immediately that bottom lane is going to be the faster lane, at least for these first few laps here, as it kind of cools off a little bit when they're under caution. So he wanted to get himself down in front of the 2 of Brian Hacker before he could get his nose underneath, as the rest of the field is trying to fight for that bottom lane while they can.
So it's Fortin, Schaefer, Hacker right now as they're running, as Matthew Barkhouse still the outside. We've seen the outside lane work, but with 10 laps to go, as the double high fives that time when they came by, the flag stand came out. Will they have enough time? Battle back here, still going to be Powers, Schaefer, and I believe that is Matt McLean. There it is in the Fury, number 88.
And as you mentioned, that 31 car did take 4 tires early on compared to the rest of these drivers that are around, and then only took those outsides. And those left side tires might be helping him just a little bit to maybe give him that edge and allow him to work the outside lane while everyone else is having to fight for the bottom, as now he gets his nose ahead there of Matt McLean across the stripe. And he will hang on to 6th place for the moment, but time is running out as the number 2 of Brian Hacker, he gets to the inside of Schaefer.
Right to the inside here with 7 laps to go. It's Fortin, Hacker, Schaefer, Barkhouse, Martin across the line, the top 5. It's 2 by 2 for 2nd through 7th right now, as one driver off the racetrack is Wade Purchase. He'll get back onto the racetrack. We stay green flag racing here. It's still Fortin out front by about 5-6 car lengths that time down into turn 1.
Oh, Martin getting into the back of the 6, and that actually is going to kick him up a little bit, and that's going to get himself into the 15 of Barkhouse, and that's going to cost Barkhouse a few spots. Both of those drivers actually losing at least a spot or two off of that, and now the 15 having to fight on the outside of the 96 and 31, though, of Logan Powers getting right up to the bumper of Joe Schaefer Jr. Powers trying to get himself into a podium position as laps are ticking away and time is running out.
Yeah, it was 5 to go. It'll be 4 to go this time. Does Logan Powers have enough time? Maybe a late race caution might put him in a catbird seat, as there's the caution flag. It will come out. Caution flag is out here tonight at Oxford for the 5th time with just 3 laps to go.
And that looks to be because of Gavin Isley, and we'll have to take a look at what happened to him as he kind of looked to be all on his own there, spun out in turns 1 and 2.
Take the replay there. You see the number 18 of Gavin Isley down there. Looks like he got on the curbing and then got into the old light post down there. Tried to do the old Wade McDuff. If anybody remembers, Wade McDuff hit the light poles here and flipped on his roof. Looked like one of those beach turtles at one point in his racing career here with the Upstate Racing League. Take another look here at it. Zoom it in here on car number 18. You see him. He's down there. Gets on the curbing, and it bottoms out the rear, and it unfortunately kicks it sideways as Matt Eddy was approaching him, and the officials said, put it out. Throw the caution.
Yeah, that is not what Guillaume Fortin wanted to see, as he had a decent lead over Brian Hacker here coming to the finish, and he's just kind of maybe hoping that history doesn't repeat himself. As I said, a few years back, he was going for his first ever win in the Upstate Racing League. He was in the lead, and then there was a late race caution. I think it was possibly a green-white checkered that happened, and he got spun out coming towards the line and just did not end up taking the win there and had to wait even longer before he got his first win with the league.
So now overtime here tonight with the Upstate Racing League. Kelly, I lost my note. One attempt.
One attempt.
So one attempt. So what we're going to do, race fans, is we're going to line them back up as you see them already starting to assemble themselves in the side-by-side formation. We're going to, well, throw them side by side. We're coming by, we're going to take the green flag. Next time by, we take the white flag, and then the next flag will end tonight's race here. Well, any flag actually will end tonight's race once we go back green flag racing. So we hope we can get it back around here and see which one of these drivers have saved their tires enough here, or, well, are just lucky enough to hang on. It'll be Fortin to the inside with Hacker to the outside. Then it'll be Powers with those 4 tires, and then Joe Schaefer to the outside. Then it'll be Martin to the inside of row number 3. With Matt McLean to the outside there. That's your top 6 drivers here as the lights are out on the iRacing.com pace car.
Yeah, lights are out on the pace car. We are going to get back to racing as we are going to catch the green flag for the final time here. We'll have to see if Guillaume Fortin will be able to hold off the pressure and be able to hang on for his first win of the season, or if he'll have to settle for another second place. Pace car down and away. Green flag up in the air, and there goes the 13, shot out of a cannon out of turn number 4. What a great launch from him, and now that's going to allow Logan Powers. He's going to get to the inside of the 2 of Brian Hacker as everyone jockeys for the position for these final laps.
Powers banking it off the inside, curbing that time down in 1 and 2, up into the door of Brian Hacker. White flag is going to fly here. Guillaume Fortin across the line to see it first. Will he be the first one back across here? Still battling for that second position there. Powers to the inside. It'll be Guillaume Fortin into turn number 3 and out of turn number 4 to pick up his first win of the season. The number 13 QC will win here tonight at Oxford.
Cars spinning across the start-finish line. I saw the 96 of Al Smith Jr. getting spun all the way around, and that actually cost him a couple spots. But there is a good race here tonight as we had battles all throughout the field. But Guillaume Fortin going to take home the win, and he's getting a little bit good of a congratulation bump from Brian Hacker. Hacker knows that Guillaume was really struggling for his first win of the season, and I think that was also a message of great job, but I'll see you next week.
So with Fortin coming across the line first, then it was Powers and Hacker is how they came across. 1, 2, 3. Bill Martin, Joe Schaefer, Matt McLean, Matthew Barkhouse, Scott Austin, Al Smith Jr., and Rodney Hontoon rallying back late here tonight to finish in the top 10. Those are your top 10 unofficial results here from the Oxford Plains Speedway. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to talk to the top 3 here tonight, right after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Oxford Plains Speedway. A little bit of overtime needed here tonight because it was that exciting of a race. And don't take it from me or Kelly, because we got the top three standing by to tell us how this race all unraveled here towards the end of this one. What do you say we kick it down trackside here as Kelly Knoll is standing by with the race winner?
Yeah, standing by, and for the first time this season, Guillaume Fortin, you are a race winner.
It feels good to be back in victory lane this year. Happy with it.
I mean, how much more does this win feel after 3 weeks in a row of finishing in second place?
Oh, it feels better, and I had a great race, and those two late caution got me worried because the eye line kind of worked in the middle of the race, so I was afraid that the guy in second place could pass me.
Well, it was a long race here tonight as for such a short track, but I think the big story of tonight was just how could you really save those tires? I mean, how hard was it to keep that right front in good condition?
Yeah, I hadn't time to practice a lot with tire saving, so I just went with the flow and tried to follow Joe when he was leading and Mike. And I tried to stay at the bottom because I think that's the best way to save tire at this place, so I kind of stick to the bottom and I was able to make all my pass there, and I think I did a great job finishing where I did tonight, so I think I saved my tire the right way.
Well, the way the points are shaping up as we're getting closer to that halfway point on the season, it seems like it's going to come down to you and Brian Hacker in kind of a battle for the championship. And how are you feeling about that?
Pretty good. He's a good racer, and he's beating me a lot since the start of the season, and also in another league. So hopefully I can beat him in URL, where I excel the most.
All right, Guillaume, we're going to see you once again next week at South Boston. But before we let you go, who would you like to thank for your win here tonight?
Yeah, first of all, I have to thank Gestion LPG. They're doing all kind of workstation and everything, pit box for your trailer. So hit them up if you need anything for the race season that's about to start. And Al for putting up this amazing league, and you guys for broadcasting this race.
All right, thank you so much for coming down and talking to us, Guillaume, and hopefully we'll hear from you next week at South Boston.
Hopefully. Thank you.
That's Guillaume Fortin, driver, the number 13, and our winner here tonight at the Beth's Colorful Creations 125. Now I'm going to send it back to Roger, who I believe was caught up with our second place finisher.
Yeah, the number has a 1 and a 3 in it, but it's inverted from the race winner. The 31 here tonight of Logan Powers. Logan, you had to pass a lot of cars because, well, You had to start shotgun to the field after one of those restarts. How did you work your way through all these cars to come back on the podium?
Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't easy, but it was a lot of fun. Oxford definitely changed over the years. It used to be a really bottom-dominant track, but these cars seem to really widen it out, which is a lot like it is in real life. But I just destroyed my tires the first run and just thought I could go quicker than what it really ended up being. And got a couple cautions there, decided to pit on the first one just because they were that bad, and ended up being what I think was one of the right calls. I had to restart at the rear, but was hoping for a couple more cautions to just let me work my way up, a couple spots at a time and get a couple cautions. And some guys made some contact in front of me, which got me from like 5th to 3rd or 4th, and was able to make that pass there on the 6th car, which got me up into 3rd, and I felt pretty good about the restart there. And it was eventful, but a lot of fun.
What did you need late in this one? You got side-by-side with Brian Hacker on that green-white checker attempt. What did you need, though, to go after the 13 of Guillaume Fortin out front?
Well, it just came down to the restart. I didn't get a great jump. I think I could have been up with him a little bit better. And then me and Brian there, we were running side-by-side, which was, it was fun and whatnot, but it was made it a little bit tougher to get the angles that both he and I wanted to progress forward. And I thought maybe if I could clear him a lap before, I honestly thought I could maybe get to the back bumper there, but just didn't play out. But definitely happy with the second.
Well, a great run for you here tonight at the Oxford Plains Speedway. What do you say? Who makes the 31 look as good and as fast as it is?
Well, I got to thank everybody in the league with Al and whatnot for accepting me in, first of all, and putting on the league. Beth's Colorful Creations, excuse me. And then I got to thank my real life sponsors, Till Dark Roofing and Vermont Auto Spa, and just a shout out to the Vermont race team.
There you have it, the driver that runs up in Vermont tonight here. Logan Powers will, rally back here. He started second, and he will finish second, just running out of time to try and catch Guillaume Fortin, who was out front here tonight. So Powers finishes P number 2. That means there's one other person that must be on the podium here tonight. I believe, Kelly, you caught up with the Hacker himself.
Yeah, caught up now with the number 2 driver, the number 2, Brian Hacker. And Brian, it came down to a couple of late race restarts. I mean, what was kind of going through your head when you saw that last caution come up to bring us into overtime?
Yeah, honestly didn't want either of them. I thought we could get around the 6, and we ultimately did after the first restart. But if we could have gone green there till the end, I thought we had a pretty good shot of, at least getting up and contending. G was fast, and once he got out there, he's starting to pull away from everybody. So, certainly not sure if we could have caught him or gotten around him, but I would have loved to have the chance.
And early on tonight, we had that caution come out, and everyone came down pit road except for a few drivers up front. And then afterwards, we saw chaos as we saw the two different sets of cars with different pace. I mean, what was it like from your point of view?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I restarted on the inside, and traditionally here, you're always excited when you start on the inside. And then once we went green, I saw a couple of the guys on Freshies jump up to the top and take it 3 wide and take it around everybody. And I thought, man, maybe the high side was the place to be. So, the track was hot. iRacing's made some adjustments, and we've got dynamic track back. And when dynamic track's in full force, this track's a blast, and it put on a show tonight.
Well, next week we are going to another short bull ring, but it's going to be South Boston Speedway. And how are you feeling about that racetrack?
I like South Boston. It's a good time. I just enjoy getting around the track. The only scary part about South Boston is the infield, the pit walls. If something happens down the straightaways or into the corners, it seems to funnel down, and there's really nowhere to go. So everybody's got to be on their game, watching for stuff ahead of them, because it's easy to cause a big one there.
All right, well, thanks so much for coming and talking to us. Before we let you go, though, I think you know the drill by now. We're going to give you the floor and give you a chance to thank everyone you need to thank.
Yeah, first off, congrats to G for the win. We've been battling it out all year in this league and in another league. It seems like we're always there at the end fighting for it. So it's been a lot of fun this year. And shout out to Logan for coming back up and finishing second. Everybody on the car, Scott Austin Designs, always giving us a good looking ride. Carbon Junction, Aberdeen Lodge, Boulder Beer Bar. Thanks to Al for putting this on. You guys for coming out and putting on an exceptional broadcast. Congrats to you, Kelly, on the accomplishment and what you're going to be doing here. Pretty cool to see that, and getting your start here, turn 3, and with KR and Roger. And lastly, thanks to Jimmy and his wife for coming aboard and sponsoring the race.
All right, thanks so much for coming to talk to us. Hopefully we'll hear from you again at South Boston, but you enjoy your night, and that will be the last of our 3 podium drivers. So I'm going to send it back to Roger here for a few closing thoughts.
Well, you heard from it right there. The number 13 of Guillaume Fort and the 31 of Logan Powers and the number 2 of Brian Hacker here tonight. Your top 3 podium finishers with Bill Martin and Joe Schaefer Jr. rounding out the top 5. It won't be a three-peat for the driver of the number 6 there of Joe Schaefer Jr., but it will be a win here tonight for Guillaume Fortin. Guillaume will take control of the points lead as we get ready to leave the Oxford Plains Speedway here tonight. So where does that take us on the road trip here with the Best Golf Creations Pro Series? That will take us to Virginia. South Boston Speedway is the next stop here for the Best Golf Creations Pro Series next week in the Virginias for Lovers 125 from South Boston. If you thought Oxford was a little tight bull ring, well, South Boston Speedway a little bit bigger. We actually have 2 straightaways, but it's going to be a tight one. And look to see that dynamic track come back at the South Boston Speedway. But that's going to about wrap things up here tonight from the Oxford Plains Speedway. So for Kelly Dahl, my name is Roger Muth, and everybody over at the Upstate Racing League, along with Beth Golfo Creations, we hope you enjoyed tonight's virtual show from the Oxford Plains Speedway, where Guillaume Fortin picks up another win with the Upstate Racing League. And until we catch you next time now, race fans, everybody stay safe, and we'll see ya in Turn 3.